Hey, this is Rachel Elise from Blue Moon Elise and the Healthy Habits crew, and I am here with you today to talk a little bit about dry brushing. So there's lots out there on the internet about dry brush this, dry brush that, use all these different kind of brushes and so forth, and always move towards the heart. And maybe that's true. However, there's also other research that really shows where our watersheds actually are in our lymph system and which direction to really be brushing, and not just necessarily generally to the heart. So we have in our body this stuff called lymph. Most of us have heard about it from school when we were younger, and it's basically this fluid that lives, 70% of it lives just below the surface of our skin. And it's very slow moving, and it's a fluid that actually filters out toxins from within our bodies. And so within the lymph is antibodies that will then attach to antigens. So the bad guys, the good guys will attach to the bad guys and help render them harmless so that they're no longer an issue in our body. Because the only way they can really do that is if they consistently are moving through the watersheds and into the ducts of our body where the filters actually are. And then when this happens, we then dump this fluid back into our blood flow, and which we want to be pristine when this happens. Lymph naturally moves when we move, and we just move our bodies. It doesn't necessarily mean like the harder you push, the more it moves. In fact, it doesn't necessarily. It's actually the lighter the touch. So if you've ever gotten a lymph massage before and you weren't clear about what you were getting into, you probably got the massage and then you were upset with your therapist because she barely touched you and you went to get some deep tissue work. A lymph massage is done with barely touching the skin and just gently moving the lymph below your skin towards the ducts. So with dry brushing, I love to be able to do this in the morning. It takes me literally 2 minutes. It's very stimulating, so it helps wake you up in the morning time. This is my dry brush. You can actually use many different kinds. I'm sure you've seen them all around. And it's just a nice bristly, it's a little bit more, I have a little bit harsher one. I like a little bit more stimulation. You can use a really soft brush as well. So lymph pretty much, it resembles a lot of what our urine looks like. This is another way in which we get rid of toxins from our body. So the way that we first stimulate it is we start to you can just use your brush and just move around in circles, just right above your breast, which these are the lymph ducts, and we have one on each side. And this is also where what we call our watershed inside of our body. So right from where you would put your thumb into your armpit and then coming across. And these watersheds are where the lymph then filters through. And we have one right here. We have another one right below the breast and right along the hip, right along the top of the hip line. We also have it running parallel through our arms and then also long ways in our legs. The lymph isn't made to move from right to left, so if you're brushing like this, it doesn't do anything for it. We're moving it up and down, so always long wise. So these sheds, so from here, here, and here, then the length of the arms and the legs is really the key, because this is the direction we want to move the lymph. So to start with, you would just move in circular movements right around the top of the breast and just opening the system. And then you would take your brush from chin back to ear down your neck, and you can do that 3 times, and we're just moving it down to the collarbone. And you do the other side. Some people do all right side and then all left side. I just like to do it all at once. Then after you started getting this move, I'd say about 3 brushes. There's all kinds of studies out there. Just, 3 to 10, whatever you got time for, but more than just once. I'm going to have some repetition to get the flow moving. Then from there, go from the top of your palm up your arm and down to your breast. Up and over the collarbone. Up and over the collarbone. Same thing. Opposite side, and it's just top of the palm, top of the hand, up and over the collarbone. Then the other side is the palm, down your arm to the pit. And you can stop just right here at the pit. So we're just coming down. And same thing this side, right to the pit. Now as far as the breast concerned, It's kind of a big deal when you look around and you see how much breast cancer is going on, when you think about toxins lodging in the breast tissue. So just think, very important, don't skip the breast. You want to move from the areola basically out. So any direction just coming out, 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 out. And it's moving out in this direction. After that, we're going to come up through right here at the sternum, and we're going to pull up and around, up and around, up and around. And basically you're moving to get it to come to this watershed, up and around, up and around. From the bottom, you're going to be moving out, out and up. Remember, back to this watershed, out and up, out and up, out and up, out and up. And just think, let's move over the pit. So make sure not to just stop short here, but to keep going up. In other words, I could do it up this to make it easier. Up and up. Same thing this side. Up, up, up. Remember when we did this one. So that's how we're going to be moving into this zone of the body. Same thing for the back is that, or the belly and over, we're going to be moving out, 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 everything out. And then have it flow down into this neck, or excuse me, back up. So we still this one, and then up. And that takes care of this section of the body from here up. Now, a lot of the literature out there then says to keep always moving to the heart, but we know there's a shed at this zone of the body that starts from the inner groin and comes up kind of like a penny line, that then comes up, press your hip into the bone. So with that said, let's move lymph into this shed as well. So we're going to move down the lower belly into that shed and just continuously moving down. So from here down, here down, here down, here down. And then lastly, the legs, is we're going to move back into this shed that we were just in. So from the feet, you can just come up one long strut all the way up. So if you're coming on the inner leg, make sure to come to the groin, to the inner groin. Some people do short ones, but continuously moving to keep that going all the way in. And then as you come to the top, we're going to come into the groin or the hip, all the way up, down below to up. And same thing for the buttocks. When you're coming from the back, make sure you come all the way up over the buttocks. So we're coming to this line right here. And just all the way up. So just to recap, because at first it can seem like it's a really big deal, and literally it can take you about 2 minutes. Once you get it down, you got it. We got chin to jaw to neck, chin, jaw, neck, chin, jaw, neck, chin, jaw, neck. Warm these babies up. That's usually what I do first, but if you forgot, no big deal. Top of the palm, over the collarbone. Underneath the palm to the armpit. Over the breast and out, over the breast and out. Under the breast and out to the pit. Under the breast to pit. Under the breast to pit. You can come out, 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 out. Up, 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 up. Same thing on the back. You're just going out, 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 out. Up, 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 up. And then we just start moving things down here. And then the legs up. So you go from leg all the way up. Remember, panty line is the easiest way. From the sides up to the hip. From the back all the way over to the buttock. And just check out how your immune system really starts to change. Remember, lymph has everything to do with your immunity. So if you're sick a lot and you've got a lot of different things going on, if you've got cancer floating around, you know, if you have some things going on, there has been several research reports that have been done on it as far as like relating to curing lupus. Again, there's so many variables out there, but there are people that swear that this is the technique that they used, and certain ailments, that huge ailments, disappeared, and this is what they mostly attributed to. Obviously, with a healthy lifestyle and diet. Again, this is a lifestyle, so there's always variables. It's not one thing that we say fixes everything. It's the way that we live and really take in our world from a day-to-day perspective, from the way that we think, the consciousness of food that we put into our mouth, the consciousness of body care that we put onto our skin, the way that we move our bodies for exercise, and the way we delicately move our bodies just to move the intelligence of the lymph in our body that is desperately trying to attach to antigens inside of us. So with all that said, grab a brush, happy dry brushing, try it in the morning. It's totally going to stimulate you to start your day off right. Thanks for listening. This is Rachel E. Lymph from Blue Moon Lymph and the Be Me Healthy Habits crew.